So now let's do this. Let's learn this thing. In order to use React.js more efficiently, we should know some basic concepts of ECMA6. What are those functions? What are those functionality which we need to learn, or need to have a knowledge of that, so that our coding would be much easier. Okay, much easier. So first thing is the use of this arrow function. So what is this arrow function? See, arrow function is nothing but a way of writing a function. I mean, earlier on, in traditional way, we write function like this: give some variable name, function, parenthesis, and then return something. This was our traditional way. Okay, but with the advance of ECMA 6, they give us a new way of writing function, that is called an arrow function. So how you write this? The name of the variable equal to, um, mean, write like this, and then return those variables. Okay. So this arrow function we can write on multiple ways. One is like this. Second way, since we know, like it will return something, return some constant variables, so we don't need to give this this parenthesis. Okay, we will simply write code like this. This will also work. This hello will return hello world. Okay, and if you want to pass any parameters, we have to add it here. Okay, so this will pass the parameters. Again, if it's a single parameter, we can do it without this parenthesis also. Okay, if it's a single parameter. If it's a multiple parameter, then we can write it. So in React.js, you will see lots of functions are written, are been written in this way. Okay. The second important function you need to understand is this map function. In React.js, you will see this map function has been used extensively. Okay, why they use it? To generate the list, to iterate the list, they use this map functions. For example, how you can do this thing, like this. This is an array. So instead of a for loop for I equal to 1, I less than 0, I plus plus, you can write in this way. Okay. So whatever thing we write inside this, it will return, and it will append it. It will add it one by one. Got it? So in React.js, suppose if we want to show the list of some variables, like these are the variables, then what it will do? It will append the paragraph in between the variables, like this thing. This thing will do p append. Okay, this will return in this way. Okay. Yeah. Uh, Another one features, which has been used by React.js is this structuring. This structuring, I think we have used in Node.js also. So what it does, when we return something, when we return multiple things, an array of things, then we can use this destructive functions. Okay, like this is an object. Okay, this is an object. So the old way was, when we want to call anything like brand, model, or this, we have this function, and then we use it by dot. This vehicle dot type, vehicle dot color, vehicle dot band, vehicle dot model. So in this way we used to call. But but in ECMA 6, it gives us the destructive. So when we create an object, we have an object like this, we call it like this. Okay, then in function, instead of this way, we can give a parenthesis, like inside a parenthesis and curly braces, we give the name, and then we can directly call those objects. Okay. So this type, what it will do? It will check for this type key, and it will understand. Okay, this is the key. It will check for this type color and understand. Okay, this is the color, and it will give you this value. So instead of writing dots, we can directly do this. And I think in imports we have seen like Mongo's schema and everything. We have used this destructive code. Right. Then one more important features that we need to understand is this spread operator. So what does spread operator does? So JavaScript spread operator allow you to quickly copy all or the part of the existing array or object into a new array. So we can combine two array with the help of spread operator. So how can we do that? Since we want an array, so the third bracket of an array, then dot the first one, and dot the second. What it will do? It will create a combined array, and it will hold 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay. Similarly, it does for the objects also. Like if we have an object 1 and 2, and then if you want to create a new object, so we will just use the spread operator, and then it will combine this thing. Okay. The next important thing is modules. Modules is similar to the modules which we have learned in I would say Node, but in that, in, to export those things, we use the export. Export means we making the function or variable to be accessible to the other places. We will use the similar way here, but instead of I would say require, in React we will use import. Okay. Import means adding those files or adding those modules from files to the current files. Okay. uh, so we can export anything. We can export class, function, okay, objects, or variables. We can export anything. So how we can do that? If you want to export a variable, you can give this. So this means for this person.js file, these two variables are can be used on some other files which will include this, which will import this. Yeah. And last, uh, and most important is this ternary operator. React.js use heavily this ternary operator. So what is ternary operator? Ternary operator is an alternate way of writing your if and else code. Okay. So we write code like this, like give some condition. This should be our condition. Uh, then this, if it is true, colon this if it is false. Okay. So in this way we can write the ternary operation. Like for example, instead of this, if authentication render app, else render login. So instead of this, in JavaScript you will see lots of code with this ternary operations. Okay. Like this condition, if it is true, it will render this, else it will render this. Yeah. So any question regarding this ECMA 6 function? Anyone have any question on this? No. Okay. So I will ask you. I will request you, just go on, see this EC6 functions, like how it works, because this will be very helpful when you do the real coding. Okay. I'm just pasting it here.
Can you send this code
Yeah,
file?
I will send the whole file also. Okay. Okay.
Basically, it's about to
Yes. Yes.
understand all the things. So,
Yeah. Now how we create our React application? How do we create a React application? So uh, as I told you, like for React, o- okay, take 5 minute breaks. Okay. Take 5 minute break. I will. Yeah, okay, let's start again. So now we get to know regarding the architecture, how it works, and what it use. Okay. Any question till here? I mean, what is React? Why it's not a framework? It's a library. What it use and how React work on the browser? Any question till here? No question. Okay. Okay. So earlier I told you like React use JSX. And I have showed you the code like React uh, use this render methods. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to create a React application, we can create the application in two ways. One is by using this create element methods, and second one is by using this React DOM dot renders way. So both way it will render the HTML portion. So for our example, if you see in this example, we have used React DOM dot render, and which in return use the JSX. But it is not the only way of writing React code. We can write React code in other ways also. What other ways it is? That is by using this this way of coding. Okay. I could have skipped this thing, skipped everything, and then I could have used element rendering instead of React DOM render. What we can do, we can and what we can do, we can use the create element way, where we create an element, and inside an element, if you see, we pass three things. What we pass uh, yeah, element tag mean what it is, it attribute mean class and everything, and it contain what it contain. So if you check this thing, what I did, I create an element, then I pass the attribute, whether it's a div or anything, the properties, class name, and everything. And at last, I think it's a nested element. Like I can create another element. So at last parameter, you can see I am passing the content. Okay, what content it can hold. So if I run this code, if I run this code, we can again see the same thing. We can again see the same thing. Hello React. Okay. And if you see the elements, so these are the React element. It is coming from this, right? So and it's a React element. React means so what I was trying to say, like we can write React in two way. One is by doing uh, React create element rendering, and second way is by doing React DOM render element. Uh, Extensively been for industrial use or for best practice, it always advised to use React DOM dot render way of rendering the component, and use the JSX. So JSX is not a compulsory one, but it is advisable to use it. Okay. So now let us create one full-fledged application which React developer community provide us, and let us see what it contain, what it has. Okay. So in order to do this, we can use this thing. Okay. npx. Okay. So this create React app is a command to create a React applications. Okay. And if you see, we have used a unique command npx. We can also use npm here, but we have used npx. Anybody knows like why we use npx here in order to create a React app? So this is a command which has been provided by the official website of React in order to create a React application. What it is? NPX, this create React app, this keyword create React app is will be used to create your React app, and this will be your the name of your folders. Okay, and if you don't want to create any folder, give a dot and backslash. It will not create any folder. Okay, but I want to ask, like, okay, we understand this create React app mean it's a command to create your React application, right? And this is the name. React tutorial is the name of your folders. But what does this npx stand for, or why we use npx? Can we use npm here or not? Yeah, we can use npm also. I mean, if instead of this, we can give npm create React app React tutorials. Okay, that will also create this tutorial. But it is always advisable to use npx instead of npm. Why? Because when we use npm, it will download all the libraries. Okay, and then it will create the React app, download everything again and again, download React, React DOM, React script, and everything. But if we use npx, what it will do, it will copy it from your machine, and it will not download everything at every time. Okay, so if I have used this for first time, it will take some time. But if I use this command again, then it will check for the libraries which I am installing here into from my local machine. And if it have, it will create a copy from this, not download everything from the server. Okay, it may take 1 minute, so let's wait for 1 minute and see our code structure.
Sir, can you repeat again about difference between NPM and NPX?
Yeah. So once I use NP, first I'm telling you about NPM. Okay, when we use NPM, what happen? It will download everything from the server. Okay, whatever dependency we need, it will download those from the server. But if I use NPX, what will happen? It will first see whether those dependency are already exist in our machine or not, already been downloaded in our computer or not. If it is been downloaded, it will it will use the copy of that. Okay, and if it is not there, then only it will download. What happened? Mhm. I can see some error. Invalid JSON response. Why? Invalid response body, which is trying to. So this thing I was trying to tell, like this, uh, may may create some issue. I mean, if I try to download everything the first time, ideally it should work. Okay, mark deletion. I, I think something is wrong. Fail deleting the constraint. Why? Proxy. There is no proxy. Uh, why it is failing? In most cases, you are behind a proxy or a very bad network. Network is good. Okay, I will try to resolve this, like why I could not able to install this thing.
It can be a network issue also, it is saying. We can try once again.
Let me try with npm. Might be they have gone, they have moved out. Okay, create React app. Let me do it from npm. Okay, npm. This is the request. Yeah, I think now it is happening. Something is happening because I can see this package.json and this node modules.
Sir,
Yeah.
at the end of the installation, I actually used 1 minute npx create react app space react tutorial. Okay, need to install the following packages. After that, the installation is being completed, and at the last, it say that npm start, npm run build, npm eject. Okay, happy hacking. They are saying, is it?
Uh, no, don't need to worry. Okay, don't need to worry. Yeah, why it's a happy hacking? Because you did not create the full application from the scratch. Okay, you did not do it like this way. You got a kind of framework. Okay, you got a kind of framework to work on React. Yeah, I think it's been installed. So
It,
some
it
network
installs
issue.
node modules also.
Yes,
Node
yes,
module.
everything. See, in my laptop now it is installing. Okay.
App test, app setup test like that. Index.
Okay, so everything got installed. So let's see what it installed.
So you used npx or npm?
Let me see. I had tried npx. I use npx. Okay.
npx na?
Yeah, npx. Okay. So this gives some description like how we can start your development server. Npm start will start your development server. To build npm build, to test npm build. So this command you can see in your package.json. Let me open it. Okay. Mhm. Okay. So all this command which you were saying is from this script. Okay. And this is similar to node. Actually, it used the node server, so it used the similar structure. And I think you are familiar with this, right? Everyone who are with me from Node.js, so they are familiar with this. So these are the scripts that we use to run the server, and these are the dependencies that it installed. Okay, and this is the ESLint config, and that's it. Okay, yeah. Now instead of this structure, instead of creating a single file, what it provide you a kind of framework, okay, which run on Node.js server and have some structure in it. So let us see what kind of things are there. So if you open your src, src is a place where we write our codes. Okay, so all your codes are here, and let me run this code. So I will just do npm start, and it will start a server. What happened? Okay, okay. NPM start. So it will start a server, and by default, React.js run on port 3000. The first time it will take some time to load and do everything. Yeah, webpack got created. Yes. So this is our React application. Let me minimize this. This also. Okay. This is your React application. Let me see uh, how, instead of single pages, how React people provide you some kind of frameworks, and what it contains, and where all those things are. Okay. So the first thing which I will try to find out, like like React always tell you it use render, right? Without rendering, React cannot run. So it use something render, and it render on some kind of DOM, some kind of elements of your HTML, and it use the single element, okay, to render all the data. So how this thing how this thing comes up? Okay, now it says edit src app.js and save to reload. So something must be there in app.js. So if I go to my folder, this is src, and go to app.js, what we see a similar type of content like this. Learn React, I can see here. This edit src, I can see here. So whatever thing it is rendering from this page, right? And if you see this, what they did, I mean, is it your base page from where this thing are getting rendered? I will say no. Why no? Because in all the example I told you, like, in order to render anything, React must use this API or these functions, okay, which the React have, either render React DOM dot render. I cannot find this. I cannot find this in this page. Correct? So this cannot be our entry page. Am I right? Why I am saying like this cannot be our main page. My question is, I can see all changes which are there are coming from these pages, right? Are coming from these pages, but I am telling this cannot be our main page. Why? Anyone? Any volunteer for this? Why this app.js, although I can see all the data are there from this pages only, why it cannot be called why it cannot be our main page or our index page from where the data is getting loaded?
It's completely our interest what we have to show on the web page, starting
No, no, no,
page.
no, 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 no.
Different.
I am telling. I want to tell, like, why I'm telling it is not the first page, or it is not the main page from where this data are coming. I can see everything. Whatever thing I wrote here, if I write main page and just click on save, React has the auto render feature. See, it render this and show it again. But still, I'm telling, like since React worked on a single page application, so this is not our main page. Why? Because I can see RJX, I can see RJX, so JSX page, but I do not see any React render. So from this page, no rendering happened, right? So this cannot be our main page. But what I see, oh, it exported. Exported mean what? It make it available to the other page. So instead of our main page, this is just a component. Okay, one component which can be used from other pages or from main React pages. So the place from where the uh, React start to work, or which we call as the entry point of a React application, is this page. Okay, so if you see this, it use this React DOM and then this rendering process. So this is our main React page. Okay, which render something, which adds some component, and which provide you this thing.
Okay, you mean that app.js is not rendering anything, that's why it is not our main page.
Yes,
But in index.js, there is a rendering. It
yeah.
imports all the components
It,
in
it
index.js,
imports
and
all
then
the
it,
components.
yeah, and then it render all the things here, all the
Yeah,
pages here,
yes,
and make a single page to render each and everything here.
yes. And
That's why it
again,
is, yes,
and again, one more thing, I would say this is just our JS portion. Okay. Again, the page which you see here is not this HTML. It's a JS file. Okay.
yeah.
Traditionally, there should be some HTML which we see. We cannot see a JS file in a browser. Do we see any JS file in a browser? No, right? JS always remain on top of any HTML or behind the scene of any HTML. So again, this page is not our main page, is not our index page. So ideally, I mean, if we check everything, so ideally, this is the page which we are seeing this. Okay. So behind the scene, this is our main index
Mhm.
page. Okay, which React load or which is getting loaded here. And if you want to see something, you can see here we have given the title meta, and if we go to this, and if we hover it, see, I can see the same title, right?
Yes, yes.
Behind the scene, what happened? React always have like see, I changed to tutorial, it becomes this. So similar to the single page, React also create one single page or one main page. Okay, that we have seen there in our earlier example. Let me remove the comment. That would be easier. Okay, and do it in the traditional way. Like we will have one HTML file, then we will have one JS file. We will include those files and then use it. Okay. So what it has, if you see this thing, whenever we write this npm start, when let me okay, whenever we start our script, what happens? React try to load this HTML only. That's why React is called the single page application. Mean it will just uh, render everything into this HTML. Okay, where is that HTML? The HTML is on public index.html. So this is our main HTML, or I would say this would be our only HTML in our whole application. What we do, we will render the component or the components, one or more component into this HTML. And this concept is called single page application. So React.js use the single page application concept where it will have only one HTML page, that is index.html page, which are in public folder, and then it rendered the different components and the different uh, components in based on your conditions, okay, into that page, and provide us the whole UI, user interface for the front end. Anyone have any dot with this page? Like which page we used to see here? Ideally, it is not this, not the SRC page. Ideally, it's this index.html page. And in this page, you will find one thing. What it is? It says, okay, dev ID equal to this. So internally, what React does, it captures this HTML and then it goes to SRC, and inside SRC it look for this index, and then it combined everything and make your uh, React application for. Okay, so it's a combination of these two files
One
which
thing,
we,
Firdous sir,
yes,
in index.js, go to the index.js.
yeah,
Yes, in here at a time actually you have actually taught us that React DOM dot create root. Over there, as of now, we have actually passing the static value. The root dot render React dot strict mode app React dot strict mode. So can you please re-explain it?
yeah. I will explain everything. I did not went that far. When I was just saying, like the page which you are seeing here actually is the combination of this index.js and this index.html. Everybody are clear with this point, with this thing, right? And then React use the concept of component, mean the smaller fragment or smaller part which we can reuse by in a combination or in a single way and create our whole application. Okay. So again, there should be some entry point, one or more component that can be an entry point, mean can be the landing page. Okay, the landing page of our application. So for this example, the example they have provided, what they have used this app component, app component. Okay, so whenever the page get loaded, it it read this JS file and see what it has. Uh, and everything which we write here, that will be global or that will be by default. Okay, so if you want any CSS, it gives us this index.css file. So if you want any global CSS, the CSS that the property should be applied to the whole application, then we import that CSS file here. Fine. Why we are importing this index.css file here? So all the CSS which we write here, it will be global for the whole application, for the whole component, irrespective to the position where I create those components. Okay. Now go to the next slide. Let me remove this. This is for testing. I don't do. I mean, right now we will not do testing, so we are put here. Now what happened? Again, it import one variable. Okay, and if you see this thing, this is our component. Okay, this is our component. Why it's a component? Because it return this render. Okay, it it uses this thing, so it's a component of a React. And here we done something. We have created something. So what it does? First we import it, and now it tell, okay, where is our root, mean which is our entry point of our HTML, where it is it is with this root element. Where it finds the root element, by default it will look for the index.html in the public, and then it will see, okay, here. So this is our entry point. I mean, this is the DOM which we will see in the browser, correct? And then at last, what it did, it rendered it. It it added the content. What we get from the React component into this root component. Okay, into this place. I would say into this div whose ID is root. And regarding this, we can give or we cannot give. This will throw error. This will throw this will this is similar to the strict mode in I would say JavaScript or strict mode in TypeScript content. Like it will throw error on any uh, React error. Okay. So this will not allow a buggy code to get compiled. Understood? And then at last it will render this page. But we get one folder. So what I did, I created this app from this, and then this app. I created one more, I would say component. Okay. I created one more component like this. Okay. Hmm. So this is a way of writing a component. I have explained you earlier, and this is a way of exporting it. Once we do export, it means it can be an import, and I can use this components. Okay. What I did, I created a home component, and instead of app component, now we can use the home component as our entry point. Okay. And if you see the browser, now it got changed to hello world. Got it? Similarly, I can reuse that app component again and change our design. Now when I save it, you will see it got changed, right? I can reuse this component again with something else. Got it? So that's why I was saying like this app.js is not our entry point. The main entry point for HTML is this HTML dot index.html, which is inside the public, and then this index.js, which is which is inside our SRC root.
So it means that we have to make the components and import and export into the index.js, and everything will render on index.html.
Okay, let's see whether we can do it that way or not. I think no. Okay. Ideally, what should be there? We should have something called components, okay, and then some features like we can have one folder called mm, menu. Okay, one more thing. In React, we use upper camel case only. Okay, whatever thing we write in React, you will see we start with a capital letter. Why we do this thing? Because see, HTML. If you see HTML always use all the keywords of HTML are in small letter, right? Nothing are in capital letter or the camel case. All the things are in small letters. Okay, uh, and so in order to distinguish some of the features that we use in RJX, JSX, sorry, I always use JSX. Uh, they tell us to start your first letter of your functions, of your anything, of your keywords or of your components with the capital letter, so that when I include it any place, I could able to understand. I can distinguish this thing, right? Even here, I can give some div also. This will also work. Okay, this will also render. See, hi, it got appended there, right? But in order to distinguish this thing, like this is an HTML component, and these are the React component. Okay, the things are coming from for React only. We have to give name with this capital H. Okay, and whenever we declare any classes, yeah, you have seen, like instead of class in React we are using class name, because in RGX we can write both things. I mean, your HTML and JS together. So class is the keyword for, I would say, both, right? For HTML class we use this class, and for JS class also we use this class. So in order to remove this confusion, like for which class it is, they change the HTML class. So in RJX or JSX or simply React.js, instead of class we will use class name in order to distinguish the confusion. Okay, like so actually in what I was trying to say, we can write this also. Okay, in this way also. React.component. We can write in this way also. So if we had write in this way, what would happen? What would happen? There would be some confusion, right? Because whether this is mean, out of these two class, which one is the class of JavaScript and which one is the class of uh, HTML? So what React developer did, they told no, don't use class for CSS, use class name for CSS. In that way, this class name comes up. Instead of class, we will use class name. Okay.
So this
And
is called function programming, no?
what? Can you repeat?
So this is called programming in React. We
Yeah,
use
yeah, yeah.
function.
Yeah.
And sir,
So
when we started using function programming after React,
sorry, I cannot get you. Repeat again.
like sir, when we started using function programming on top of class programming instead of using class programming, when we started
See,
like
we can use, but from React 17, it is recommended to use function programming. Okay. Due to those confusion, they said no, we will go back to the functional programming only, right? And regarding a function, you can write in this way, or the best way would be to create a
arrow
uh,
function.
arrow function instead of this. Do I doing anything wrong?
So give a let or const.
That we can, but we can. We can. Okay, so this would be a better way of writing. Okay, or the recommended way of writing. Now, so what I said, like what we need to do, we need to create as many components as we can. Uh, we'll, if you go to any design thinking way, like how we should create a design. Okay. When I was on IBM, then we used to follow this carbon design system. Okay, or the UI guys used to follow this. So everybody, I mean, similar to this, I think for uh, for Microsoft is Flutter 2 or something, 2 Flutter. So we need to follow this kind of guidelines. Okay, this kind of guideline, like how how we should write our code, how we should style, how we should uh, give everything. So if you could follow anything like this, I think that would be better. Okay, I will explain you. Yeah. So what kind of color we should use? Okay, why we should use this color, and uh, what kind of text we will use? Everything we can. Uh, they provide us the information. Like, I mean, and if we can follow this kind of design pattern, it would be very easier for us to develop anything, and it would be I would say good good to looks also. Okay. Okay. So try to follow any design pattern we should follow. So what I was trying to say, like we need to create as much component as we can. Okay, and then utilize those components. Suppose this is our main body and this is our menu. I have done one mistake. Let me remove this left. Okay, right. So what we can do, we can create one component here. This is the last thing, and then we will stop. Okay. Okay. And now if I go to this app, what we can do, we can import it. This is component slash component menu bar slash, and then you can design your uh, application. Can remove everything. If I remove everything, you can see it become like this. Okay, it become like this only. No, no, not this. almost. Okay, I can see some problem. It will get resolved. No, no. Okay, menu bar border. Okay. Okay. Since
You
I'm running,
uh,
since I'm running in a strict mode, so if any issue are coming, it's throwing the error. Okay, and it's telling like this thing cannot be resolved. I can see the URL. I have given the wrong URL.
Younger.
Uh, and instead of menu bar, it will be body. Now what happened? Okay, it's app.css.
Have uh,
Yeah, I got it. I got
export,
it.
we did
I
export. Huh?
imported this thing, and these are on different places because I went one direction inside. Okay, now it's working. Okay, so I can see this thing and how we can use it. See, this component are independent. Okay, independent to each other. We can utilize it at any place, anyway. Okay, like we have what I did, I created something called menu.js. Just I given this name menu, and body.js. Just I given this name as body. Okay, nothing else. Let me remove this class also. And ideally, when you write a code, you start with this. I forgot what it's called. I'm very bad at it. Okay, I usually forget the thing. Uh, write in this way. Okay, we make a semantic. Uh, what is its name? I forgot this. So and then I'll give you the HTML. So, in this way, you will not have much error because if you do not close anything, on first line of your code, there should be some opening tag and then there should be a closing tag. So if you don't give this, and by mistake, if you write something like this, it will give an error. Okay, it will give an error. So always start and end in this way. There is a term I forgot what name. See, now that error has been gone. So RJX always expect some tag to be get open and to get closed on front. Okay, I would say on root level, and then the
Can't we use React fragment?
yeah
Firdous?
yeah. This is called React fragment. Okay, I think this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Normally we'll use React dot fragment. Will that work, or we have to use this open and close?
No, we use this one. This one should be.
Okay. That will not work. React dot fragment something inside keeping React dot fragment that between that one.
I do not remember that, but I think this is a very simple way. Okay.
Let's try once with that React dot fragment. With the return instead of that empty inside that one we keep React dot fragment.
When you are saying return,
Not there, not there. Here, empty brackets are there, right? Inside that one, React dot fragment.
you are talking here.
Yeah, yeah. R caps.
Why? Yeah, I think it may work, but uh, actually it will automatically create it. I think. No need to. Or you can try it on your way, but what I know, like this is a very easiest way. Okay, and it might not have an issue. Okay, so now we have two more components at any place, so you can create your design based on this. Menu should have some menu design, body should have some body design, and then you can have it at any place. Okay, like what I did, I have this. And then instead of this div, what I can do, I will simply I will simply include those two components there. Okay. This way, or simply I will open and close the tab. Oh, wow. If there is in your index.js, if you want to use only this app, not the home, you will simply remove rest of the thing, and you will see the design got changed like this. Okay. So in this way, whatever thing you see, it's some kind of component in React. Like this top portion could be one component. This React could be this menu portion could be one or the multiple component, because you can see this work differently, right? This work differently, and this again work in a different way. So based on your functionality, you can create as much fragment as you can. Ideally, in design pattern, it is called atom, molecule. Okay. Uh, then component, then template. In this way, you try to uh, create as much component as you can, and then reuse those components. Like a button can be one component, like this kind of uh, menu and the text could be one another component. Okay. This kind of search bar can be one another component, and based on the features, I mean where we are using it, we can give it name, we can give it functionality, we can give uh, we can change their uh, behaviors. Okay. So those we will learn later on. So basic thing is this. If you see this React tutorial, what is happening? Whenever I'm checking the menus, these top portion are remaining the same, and only the bottom portion are getting loaded. Okay. So this is one of the example of single page application, and with React we can create something like this. Okay. So similar to this, uh, we will create as much component as we can, and then we will reuse those components. So right now, if you see this within this index.js, we have app component, and again this app component again use two more components, right? Menu, body, and this body component may use hundreds of other components, right? This body could be could have hundreds of other components. This red portion can be one component. This right portion can be one component. Okay. This text can be one component. This footer can be one component. So in this way, we will React allow you to create a component based application, which and all those components can work independently. I mean, they do not need the parent component to work precisely. This component I can reuse on some other place. This red component I can reuse on some other places also. Okay. So anything else? Any question for today?
Sir, you told about carbon design. We have to follow about carbon IBM design. So how we come to know about how to use carbon design Excel? We have to
Okay.
go through.
next
Yes, sir.
next class I will start with that. But uh, like you see this thing, you see this Skype also. Okay. It use some consistency class, colors and everything, right? Text and
Yes,
everything. so
yes,
so they must have followed some kind of design pattern. Like a
yes,
button should be this. For end, you should give a red button, right? To start, you should
yes,
give a green button. And those, why they are using those buttons, those colors in this button, those colors have some values. Okay. Have some morals value for the peoples also. Like red means stop. So it's it has some it has some universal, I would say, answer
Meaning.
for this. Okay, the
Okay.
text, if you see the text, something are bold and some texts are very pleasant to see, right? So why they have uses this font only? So because those in industry, in IT industry, those texts, those tone, or those ringtones, or everything have some moral value or some exact value which we don't know as a developer, right? That's why the UX people give us some design pattern. They give us something like, okay, your button should like exactly the same way. It should have the same color. It should have the same orientation. It should be in the middle or it should be in left. So those things comes with some design patterns. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. And
Firdous, you mean a design specification?
Yeah, yeah, design specification
Okay, okay.
and many
okay,
thing else and many thing else. I would say not only it's regarding
like
design,
like
but
the we get we have to change the any Figma design to the React. So that Figma design, that website is designed in Figma, and then we have to convert that Figma design into code, into React. That is the thing.
no. I mean, how those Figma design come into existence? Okay, that is the thing. Mean how they have uh, design, how they have made those Figma designs.
Okay, okay,
Why they have used those buttons? Okay, why not? Why they have used search bar on top or on top right, right? Why not on the left? Mainly, if you see in any website, you will find the search on top right, right? Not on the top left. Why? What's the reason? Because as a people, we usually see something on the top right more than on the top right left, right? A red color. Why in order to cancel or in order to yeah, cancel or delete anything, we give a red color because red color give us a message to be cautious, right? in order to
yeah,
in order to in order to do anything, so to be cautious, like in the Skype also, see the call in button is a red color one. Why? Because it give us a it tell us like, okay, if you do this thing, you will be out of this, so be cautious while pressing this button.
okay,
But
okay,
but for other it's a blue, right? Blue means
yeah, yeah,
you can do anything. It's the blue mean sky is a blue. So there is a no limit of doing that. We say na sky has no limit, or sky is your limit. So it's a limitless thing. We
yeah.
can, so for those things we can do a limitless time. We generally give a blue pattern for those. Okay.
Okay, I got it, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so that if your architect tell you something, you just have some knowledge like what it is. I mean, in our earlier time also, we were not able to understand why they are giving this thing, why they are telling, okay, your button should be green, your this should be this, your font should be this. Just a 5 or 10 15 minutes on that, so that when we start good. Okay, so that's it for today. Let's stop recording.